Hi everyone, Greeno here and welcome to another video here on Greeno Eats. Now today I am outside my local Toby Carvery and I've come here to pick up a Too Good To Go breakfast. Well actually I've come to pick up two Too Good To Go breakfasts. Now I have reviewed the breakfast from here before from Too Good To Go and I wasn't terribly complimentary. But I looked on the app this morning and apparently the regular breakfast gets a 4.6 out of 5 rating these days. So perhaps it's improved. What I never have got from here is the vegetarian breakfast. So what I thought I'd do today, I'm going to pick up one of each, we'll take them back to Greeno Towers and we'll compare what we get, see how it is. So I'm going to go in and pick it up. I will see you back at Greeno Towers. Right folks, back at Greeno Towers in front of the infamous wallpaper. And to be honest, Houston, we have a problem. So, I have the two breakfasts here in these pots. They actually use Toby Carvery branded pots now. But when I went to pick them up in the store, I showed them my orders. So it was two separate orders because you can only order the meat ones in one go and the veggie ones in another go. They had no record of the vegetarian one at all. Apparently one had been secured by somebody else who'd already collected it and they didn't have another vegetarian one available. So I was given two options. Either just take one breakfast with me and get in touch with Too Good To Go, cancel the other one, try and get a refund, blah, 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 or just swipe it anyway and take a meat one instead. So I thought, well, it's easier just to take two breakfasts with me. All that faffing around trying to get a refund and whatever. I know Too Good To Go are pretty good, but you've still got to fill in a form or send an email or something like that. So thought, just not going to bother with that. We'll take two breakfasts home and see what we get. So here they are. Reasonable amount of weight to them. What we're going to do, I'm going to open these up now, let you take a closer look inside as they've come. Then I'm going to take them into the kitchen, reheat what I can, how I can, whatever. Maybe if there's sausages, bacon, whatever, they can go in the air fryer. Beans, tomatoes, whatever, in the microwave. And yeah, we'll try and put something half decent together. So far though, they're not going to be getting a 4.6 out of 5 rating from me. So let's take a closer look here at what we've got in the two pots here. They look very, very similar in fairness. Now, I will start off by saying there seems to be a lot of mushrooms available in both of these pots. Now, Littlin has already tapped me up this morning when I told her that I was going to be making this video and asked me to keep the mushrooms to one side. She wants to eat them later on. I am more than happy to do that for her. No problem at all. So what else do we have in here? We have one of those weird breakfast Yorkshire puddings that they seem to do here. They filled it with tomatoes though, so that's going to be a bit soggy. We've got a very, very overdone rubbery looking fried egg here. There's some potato here with onion. I think they put bacon in there a little bit. And down underneath, if we take a look, I can see sausage, I can see beans. I don't see any bacon anywhere, so I don't think we got bacon there today. The second pot looks very, very similar to the first one. Loads of mushrooms again around here. The Yorkshire pudding filled with a little bit of tomato there, a sorry looking egg, some beans, not so much potato in this one, and a hint of a sausage tucked in under there somewhere. So anyway, like I say, take this into the kitchen, reheat what I can, how I can, and see what we can put together. So I've got things heating up in the kitchen there, but I wanted to show you this bowl of mushrooms. So this is out of the two pots. This is all the mushrooms in there. There's loads of them, isn't there? So, I mean, if you're a mushroom fan, that's not bad, is it? And Littlin's in for a little treat later on. What I'll probably do with those is just make a little bit of garlic butter up or something like that and fry them, and she can have them with some toast or something for a little bit of dinner. Obviously, I don't eat mushrooms, so that's no good to me at all. What I've managed to do in the kitchen, obviously, there's sausages, taking them out there in the air fryer, reheating now. And I'm going to try and crisp up those breakfast Yorkshire puddings. How successful that will be, given the fact they've been sat on top of the beans and with tomatoes inside. They're pretty soggy, to be honest. There's no bacon in either breakfast, so that was obviously something that was all eaten at the breakfast buffet. I did notice one of the staff sat down with about 4 bits of bacon on a plate, mind. Sneaky. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't get any bacon in there. Everything else is going to go into the microwave. We're going to microwave the little potato things and the beans and tomatoes just mixed together. The eggs, I can't do anything with. They're already overcooked. If I try and heat them up again, they're just going to be like rubber, so they're going to be cold. Bit disappointing, really. Anyway, like I say, it's all cooking up. I'll get it on a plate, and I'll be back in a moment. And this is what I'm left with, folks. Now, I've only put 2 of the 4 sausages I got all together on the plate. Not even I'm going to eat 4 sausages. As you can see here, look, we've got these 2 eggs, which are just wrecked, aren't they? And they're cold now, so that's not much good. We have this like potato hash stuff with onion. I didn't see any bacon in there at all. We have the 2 Yorkshire puddings. Still can't get my head around what that's all about on a breakfast. I know it's a gimmick because it's Toby Carvery. We've got the 2 sausages there and a mixture here of the beans with the little bit of tomatoes as well. Now, bear in mind, aside from 2 sausages and those mushrooms, this is actually 2 Toby Carvery breakfast too good to go bags. $2.79 each, so that makes it about $5.50-ish, $5.58 or something. I mean, it's okay for a plate of breakfast, but it doesn't look a very good plate of breakfast, does it? This might not be the most visually appealing breakfast I've ever had, but the proof of the pudding's in the eating, isn't it? So we'll give it a go anyway. So, seeing as it's nearest to me, and probably going to be one of the least offensive items, we're going to go with these beans and tomatoes. Now again, I've just microwaved them up, just to get a bit of heat back into them. The beans are fine, nice and soft. And I don't mind when you've got chopped tomatoes. And you mix them all in together. Because it does add a sort of a more tomatoey taste to the beans. Obviously there wasn't a lot of tomato in here, it's just whatever I scraped out of those Yorkshire puddings. So that bit's fine. You know, beans and tomatoes, no problem. Let's move on to these eggs. I mean, oh Jesus. I mean, look at this yolk. It's just a solid lump. So it's obviously been cooked some time ago, kept on the side under the heat lamp. The other one's not much better. It is pretty solid. There we go. Not great, is it? But we'll give it a try. Oh yeah, I forgot they're cold. Oh dear. I mean, there's no way to reheat a fried egg, really, is there? If you try and microwave it, it's just going to turn into like just rubber. So, yeah, I think we can leave those eggs well alone. That's not great at all. Let's try this potato and onion kind of hash stuff. Now, there seems to be quite a lot of crispy edges in here. Some of the onion looks quite burnt. But in something like this, again, I don't necessarily mind that because it adds that sort of almost bitter flavour to it. So you're getting like different flavours, different textures as you're going through it. The potatoes aren't bad. Just little diced potatoes again. Some with little crispy bits on the edge. And the onion flavour in there is quite nice. So that bit's okay. Let's try these sausages next. So like I said, they've just been sat in the air fryer just to reheat a bit. It's just a bog standard breakfast sausage, as you can see here. Nothing fancy about it, although it does have a kind of a herby smell a little bit. Yep. That's okay. I'm glad I reheated it though. It's crisped up the outside to give the skin almost a little snap. Do you know what? That's pretty tasty. I think that's the best thing I've had so far. I mean, it's not a lot of competition, but that's okay. The main reason I wanted to get the veggie breakfast was to see how the veggie sausages are and what else you kind of get in here that they might not put in the meat one. Sadly, not going to find out today. We'll have to try it again another time, won't we? But so far, the meaty sausage, we'll try it with a bit of beans and whatever on. That's the star of the show. Now, the bit that always confuses me with a Toby Carvery for breakfast. Who has a Yorkshire pudding on a breakfast? I mean, I moan about having hash browns on a breakfast because I don't think it goes very well. This little diced potato-y thing is much more up my street than a hash brown. A Yorkshire pudding, though. I mean, I know Toby Carvery is famous for its roast dinners, and therefore it's just their little gimmick and their little twist, but it's just weird, isn't it? So, again, I warmed this up in the air fryer because I thought it would crisp up at least the outsidey bits, the bits that weren't filled with tomato. And I think you can probably pick that up on the mic. It has done that. It is crispy, but by God, it's oily. A really, really pronounced oil flavour. But the texture of it, now that I've crisped it up, is actually okay. But I still can't reconcile it in my mind as to why it's here. I mean, is there an argument that it's basically just a batter? You'd make pancakes out of a similar batter? Yeah, perhaps. But they'd be kind of like a sweet pancake, like an American style, maybe with some maple syrup or something. This is just savoury, oily, and out of place, isn't it? I've got to say, I'm not terribly happy with this. I was actually looking forward to getting a better breakfast from Toby Carvery. With that ranking that it has on the Too Good To Go app now, I thought they must have improved things. Last time I actually went in there, I was recognised, I don't know if any of you remember seeing that video, by the staff for having made a previous video about Toby Carvery, and they told me that my video had been shown to the staff there as almost like a training exercise as to what they could improve. Well, I hope they see this one as well, because this ain't great. If more people are voting a 5 than anything else on the app for this breakfast, then I don't know what's going on with people. There's something seriously wrong with them. Yeah, not great. So what could I score that? I mean, I'm going to put a rating on the app, that's for sure. Now, bear in mind, I ordered a regular breakfast and a vegetarian breakfast, and I didn't get a vegetarian breakfast. So how can I score that? Well, I'm going to score it. On the app, it'll be 1 star out of 5, and a note saying I didn't even get one. You can't leave a 0 star, unfortunately. The 1 star is the worst you can leave. For the meat one, I mean, I can't really give it much more than a 2 out of 5, to be honest. The sausages are good. The beans, well, they're just beans, aren't they? Beans and tomatoes, whatever. The little potato hash isn't bad. The fried eggs are almost a crime against food. Okay, I've driven home with them and I can't reheat them, so they are cold. But they were overcooked in the first place, so it's just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And the Yorkshire pudding, well, again, they put stuff inside the Yorkshire pudding, wet stuff inside the Yorkshire pudding. Why not just, if you're going to serve them, pop it in a little paper bag and have it separate so that it stays as it should be. If you put like beans or tomatoes or something inside there, it's just going to make it soggy, and no amount of reheating is going to make that work again. So, yeah, 2 out of 5 for the meat one, because I quite like the potatoes and the sausages aren't bad. 1 out of 5 for the veggie one, because that's the worst I can rank it. So overall, what's that? 1.5 out of 5, 3 out of 10. I think that's about fair. Right then, folks, if you've enjoyed this video about the Toby Carvery Too Good To Go breakfast bag, certainly more than I've enjoyed eating it anyway, why not consider clicking a thumbs up on there for me? It does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you like what you've seen, why not consider clicking the subscribe button, ding your little bell for notifications, and that way you will not miss anything else that comes up on the channel. Right, that's it for me for today. Fingers crossed for something better next time, eh? I'll see you then.